This is C3. What I've got here is a deck of cards. Don't need the box. As you can see, all these cards here are different. I'll give them a quick shuffle just so that you know they're mixed. And I'll give them some cuts as well. Now, when most magicians ask you to pick a card, they do it with the deck face down, so you can't even see which cards you're getting. But I do things a little bit differently. I like to do it with the cards facing up, so you can see exactly what's going on and know exactly which card you're getting. I'm going to riffle my thumb down the side of the deck just like this, and whenever you want, say stop. Right there? Perfect. We'll use that card you stopped at, the 5 of clubs. I'm going to leave it sticking out of the deck just like this, so you can see it the entire time. And I'm going to push it in very slowly, very fairly, into the center of the pad. There's no breaks, there's no gaps. It really is lost somewhere in the center of the deck. Now watch the top of the deck. My hands are empty, and I don't have sleeves. You see it happening. The top card actually turns red, but it's not just the top card. It's actually the entire deck. That's right, the entire deck becomes red, except for one card. One single blue card, the 5 of clubs. And that is C3. This is the explanation for C3. It's a very basic handling on the color changing deck routine, and it's really easy to do if you're just a beginner starting out in Magic. Let's talk about setup. You're going to need 2 cards that are a different color from the rest of the deck. In this case, I'm using the 2 of Hearts and the 5 of Clubs. Now you're going to want to remove the 2 of Hearts and the 5 of Clubs from the other deck, just to make sure that you don't run into any, complications as far as someone seeing that you might have a duplicate card. Now you're going to start out with one of these cards on the top and one of these cards on the bottom, so you're going to basically have a sandwich. You're going to have a different color card, the rest of the deck, and a different color card on the bottom. And that is the setup. When you start the routine, I would recommend taking the deck out of a box that is the same color as the different colored card that you're using. It's a really nice psychological convincer, and it really helps to play up the effect. Alright, once you take the cards out of the box, you're going to turn them over so that they are facing up, and you're going to spread through and show everyone that all the cards are different, as you would with most card tricks. Then you're going to give the cards an overhand shuffle. And when you do this, what you're going to do is you're going to pull down this card, but you're also going to be holding on with these 3 fingers here to the back card, just like this. So you're only pulling down a single card from the front and a single card from the back. And then you're going to shuffle the rest of the deck on top. This effectively controls both of the different colored cards to the top. Now you're going to want to do this with the backs facing away from the spectators so they don't catch any flashes of red. But what you want to end up with is the 2 different colored cards on the top of the deck. Now you can also give it some cuts as long as you maintain those 2 cards on the top. So like this, you can pull down a little pack with your thumb and then make sure it stays on the top of the deck. Then you're going to turn the deck over, and you should be in this position here. And you're going to say, most magicians might have you pick a card face down. You're going to pull this card off, this top card, and show that it's basically 2 blue cards. And this is a nice convincer that kind of shows that this is all blue. It's going to trick the spectator psychologically, even though this deck is actually an entirely different color. So after you've showed these 2 cards, you're going to turn this deck over, just like this, and you're going to cut those top cards into the center of the deck. And you're going to spread through and say, I like to let the spectator pick the cards face up. And when you're spreading through, you're looking for whatever that second different colored card is. In this case, it's the 5 of clubs. And when I see it, I'm going to go ahead and catch a pinky break right there, just above that 5 of clubs. Then I'm simply going to riffle force the 5 of clubs. So I'm going to riffle down wherever they say stop, it doesn't matter. I'm going to pick up at that 5 of clubs, and I'm going to out jog it towards the spectator. Here comes probably the hardest part of the trick, and that's not really saying much because this is very easy. You're going to spread through to the 5 of clubs, And then what you're going to do is with the middle finger and the other fingers of your right hand, you're going to take the other blue card, which in this case is the 2 of hearts, and I'm going to actually just cull it under the deck like this and move it to the top. Okay? So I cull it under the deck and I move it to the top, just like that. So that way I can turn over the deck and say I'm going to push it in, and you get this very nice illusion of, you see the top card is blue and the card going into the deck is blue. A really fantastic illusion. Alright, so I'll go over that again real quick. You've got the selected card sticking out, and you're going to cull the other card under the deck, moving it to the top. And you're then going to show the card being pushed into the deck. Now from here the trick is basically done. All you have to do is perform any kind of color change that would allow you to make the top card red. In the performance, I just performed the Erdnase change, like that, and that leaves the card second from the top. Then all you gotta do is spread through, making sure not to flash that top blue card, and show that there's only one blue card left in the deck. You can let them take it out, and they'll see it's their selected card. And this is just a really fantastic illusion. There's so many, psychological tricks in here that are really going to make this effect super strong for any audience, whether it be laymen or sometimes even magicians. So let's talk about cleanup. Usually when I perform this trick, I let the spectator pull out the card from the deck. And while they're doing that, I actually take the deck, catch a break under the top 2 cards, and I double undercut them to the bottom, just like that, effectively controlling the other blue card to the very bottom of the deck. Then from here I'll take the card back from the spectator, placing it on the bottom and saying, this one blue card in this entire red deck isn't going to do much for me. Then I pick up a double, like this, and I essentially put it in my pocket, my top pocket, my back pocket, and say, we'll get rid of this for now. And that allows me to get rid of both blue cards, and you're clean. You can hand out the rest of the deck for the spectators to examine. So a more advanced technique that you might want to do if you're a more advanced performer is that after you show these 2 cards and you turn the deck over, instead of cutting these cards into the center, you can do something which is much less obvious, which is the turnover pass. Okay, so I could do a turnover pass and then have the cards be in the center